Major announcement today from the FBI and MI5. They have come forward to say to the Western world about how big a threat China poses to world order. Now, you may not think that this is breaking news, but this is as big a news as you can get when the intelligence organisations are willing to go public at a time when China has never felt more bolshy. Now, as you know, the Prime Minister is about to leave Australia again, this time to go to the Pacific Islands Forum. Now, China, as you know, has been trying to scoop up those Pacific Islands, and they are not invited to the Pacific Islands Forum. They are not invited to be there with all of the different prime ministers and ministers representing the Pacific Islands. But they are turning up anyway. They have set up their own version of the Pacific Islands Forum. And that's why this matters for us here in Australia. James Patterson is a man who knows about national defence, national security, and we will talk to him a little bit later in the show. Meantime, NASA are openly suggesting that China wants to build a base on the moon. The over-the-top version of this is they want to colonise the moon, but imagine that. A Chinese base, not just in space, they already have an international space station, but apparently are still a developing country, which means, of course, they don't have to apply to the same climate rules that places like Australia, the UK or the US does, which, of course, is a farce in and of itself. But as you know, with the Pacific Island situation, wasn't all of this fixed by Penny Wong? When our new foreign minister, newly minted, went over, shook hands, copped some traditional greetings, and apparently everything was going to be okay. Remember how this was taken by the lefty press. The academics who write for the Conversation website said that in the Solomon Islands, Wong takes first tentative steps in repairing a strained relationship. Supposedly, she had got promises from the Solomon Islands that they were not going to allow China to turn their aid into a military base. Well, despite the fact that Penny Wong apparently fixed all of this, the Solomon Islands is being just as belligerent as they were under the previous government. In fact, today, in their Independence Day, no questions were to be taken from the Australian press. There was praise for China, and China has now donated more equipment to the Solomon Islands police force, showing that they are finding, again, a backdoor way to keep building their influence. So don't buy any garbage and spin that Penny Wong magically fixed everything. China is just as bad as it was last month, last year. They will be worse next month, next year, and the FBI and MI5 are now belling the cat. There's some great detail on that, and I'll get to it in a moment or two's time.